there are a lot of people who will become hypocritical about sex because it's been made to look like a dirty thing.
I'm very traditional about things like that.
If you're using capital punishment as a deterrent to stop criminals from doing bad things, it won't stop.
Part of an act. There's some things that we wear for performance sake, but it's not necessarily that every day we're wearing hot pants walking up and down.
Bottom line is, I think black people still need to be visible. That's the most important thing.
Indecent exposure is a crime, and that's why, depending on your upbringing, there's some things that you will never actually depart from if it's not a part of you.
Shut your eyes, Mary, and don't look at it no matter what happens.
It has begun! Maria! Enough, she died!
This is history.
Saw your lights go out.
Bling! And it's bark like a dog.
Hello, you're welcome to the newsroom on GHOne TV. My name is Abena, Owusu, Nyamekye. Here are the headlines. Volume of water in Barekese Dam reduced by the minute due to some threatening human activities. Public Interest and Accountability Committee lauds government's free SHS initiative but cautions against funding it with oil revenue. We'll bring you some business later on where new CocoaBot CEO says mass cocoa spraying exercise would commence soon while free fertilizer program would be scrapped. And in sports, Black Stars Vice Chairman Palmer says GFA is likely to headhunt next Ghana coach. On the international front, 8 people have been arrested in terror attack in Westminster that left 4 dead. Good morning and welcome to the program. We are beginning right here in Accra where voting is underway at the Accra Metropolitan Assembly to confirm the president's nominee of Mayor of Accra. President Akufo-Addo on March appointed Mohammed Ejei-Sowa as the new mayor, but Mohammed Ejei-Sowa will need the confirmation of majority of the 126 assembly members in the Accra Metropolis to secure his position. Let's go live to the AMA where the voting is taking place and speak to our correspondent Ernest Latte for an update from the center. Hello, Ernest. Ernest, if you can hear me, tell us, has voting ended yet?
So what the electoral presiding officer is doing now is to sort the ballot papers out. You actually vote yes or no to endorse or disapprove the nomination of the president nominee for the chief executive position of the AMA. So that is what the electoral the electoral officer who presided over the voting is doing at the moment. We understand 126 honorable members from the Accra Metropolitan Assembly catchment area cast their vote today to approve the nomination of the president nominee.
And is that to say that the process has ended?
The voting has ended, so counting is underway. They are sorting the papers out, and then they will count whether he indeed received the approval or he has been disapproved by the honorable members. So we are yet to get to that threshold where we know the number of votes, people who voted actually to endorse or disapprove of his nomination.
Let's talk about the nominee, Mohammed Ejei-Sowa. Have you spotted him and describe his demeanor to us?
Yeah, he came in a while ago, but when the counting started, he was here when the protest started.
All right, many thanks. That's our reporter joining us from the Accra Metropolitan Assembly, where voting has just ended, and we'll touch base with him as and when counting is done to tell you whether President Akufo-Addo's nominee for the Accra mayor has been confirmed by the Assembly members or not. Due to the court, where we'll touch base with our reporter, Wilberforce Asare. We understand the case involving the brother of the suspended NPP chairman, Paul Afoko, returned to the circuit court. And the court has issued a bench warrant for two members of two members of the Invisible Forces who allegedly assaulted the director in charge of VVIP at the Flagstaff House early this year. And we have Wilberforce Asare on the line now. Wilberforce, let's first talk about the case involving Gregory Afoko.
Well, Abena, so yes, Gregory Afoko, we all know, is standing trial for the murder of former MPP East Regional Chairman Adams Mahama, who was murdered with acid poured on him. Essentially, when the case moved from the district court to the high court, this is the second bail application that lawyers for Gregory Afoko have put in for him. But today, their argument basically was that he has been in custody for 2 years, and within that 2 years period, there has been several delays on the part of the state prosecutors when it comes to prosecuting this particular case. Their argument today was that the main prosecution witness, which is the wife of the late Adams Mahama, could not make it to court today to continue with her evidence. And so as a result, they are pushing that he be granted bail and that he will subscribe himself to every conditions that are placed on the bail. However, Justice L.L. Mensah's court disagrees with the defense lawyers in their application. He says that it will be in the national interest for Gregory Afoko to remain in prison custody pending the prosecution of his case. And so as a result, he has adjourned the case to the 6th of April, where they are sure that the wife of the late Adams Mahama would have recovered from her ill health so that she can make it to court to continue with her evidence in chief. Abena.
All right, many thanks, Wilberforce. We are expected to speak to Ibrahim Al-Hassan from Parliament on that case involving the Invisible Forces. We understand an Accra Circuit Court has issued a bench warrant for their arrest in the case involving the attack on the director of VVIP security at the Flagstaff House. When we touch base with Ibrahim Al-Hassan, we'll bring you those details. But that was Wilberforce Asare, our correspondent in court, joining us with those happenings in Parliament. Now, a member of the Public Interest and Accountability Committee, Dr. Steve Mantiao, has indicated that funding the free senior high school program from the country's oil revenue will pose serious challenges for the country. According to him, government's free SHS initiative is a sound policy, but it cannot be sustained by the oil revenue alone. He thus tasked government to consider other revenue streams to ensure that the implementation of the free SHS policy does not stall along the way.
Addressing a national dialogue on sustainable funding of the free SHS program, Dr. Steve Mantiao emphasized that the revenue generated from the oil sector is too meager to fully sustain the free SHS program and called for other sources of funding in the mining and forestry sectors to be considered for the full takeoff of the program.
The oil revenue, given the current production levels, and the world market prices is very meager. The projection for 2017 is something around less than $300 million. And we know that $300 million, if we were even to put all this into education, it will not suffice.
Giving an overview of Ghana's public finances and fiscal performance at the summit, a member of the Ghana Oil and Gas for Inclusive Growth, Samuel Bequin, also argued that given Ghana's debt stock, expenditure overruns and recurrent budget deficits, it would have been prudent for the free SHS program to have been piloted and evaluated for a clear policy direction before launching it out on a full scale.
Given the fiscal environment in Ghana right now, it is important for us to ask critical questions whether it is the right time to start free SHS, or we could have phased it out, starting with pilots and then learning from it and then rolling it out at the national level.
Education consultant Dr. Matthew Kakari Abebio also called on the government to create a synergy between the economy and education to transform the country from a resource-based economy to a knowledge-based one. In his opinion, the current education curriculum is overly dependent on the old system bequeathed to the country by its colonial masters, and if it is not reviewed, it will take Ghana another 500 years to achieve the high level of success that South Korea has chalked in its education system.
We have been marginalized in technology and productivity. And this has destroyed the industrial base of the country. This has made it difficult for policy reforms in the country to work, to address the internal and external exploitative tensions in the country. This has had implications on the synergy between education and economy. Moving forward as a country and implementing the free senior high school policy, leadership will have to take a hard look at this statement and work hard to address this fundamental constraint in the Ghanaian economy.
He attributed Ghana's underdevelopment to leadership, technology and productivity, and called on the country to be guided by the example of South Korea in implementing the free SHS program.
So we can now talk to our parliamentary correspondent Ibrahim Al-Hassan on that issue. An Accra Circuit Court has issued an arrest warrant for 2 men suspected to be members of the Invincible Forces who assaulted director in charge of VVIP at the Flagstaff House early this year. And those details emerged in Parliament. That's why we're speaking to Ibrahim. Ibrahim, so are investigations underway?
Exactly so, Abena. According to the Interior Minister, Ambrose Derry, ASP and Nanka Bruce, who happens to be the victim, lodged an official complaint with the police, and the police CID took up the matter, and then they have started investigating the matter. They went to court to secure an arrest warrant for one Amumuni Jabil, who happens to be an ex-police officer who led the assault on the victim. One other suspect, the name given here is Abu, is also on the run. So the Interior Minister was actually answering a question which stood in the name of Fras Mubarak, that's the Kumbungu MP, who wanted to find out as to whether government is aware, and for that matter, the police service is aware of the incident that took place at the seat of government on 9th of January. That's 2 days after the New Patriotic Party took over the reins of government of Ghana. So yes, there's the assurance from the Interior Minister that as we speak, the 2 suspects are being pursued. Aside the arrest warrant that has been issued, the CID personnel are doing everything possible. They are combing every part of the country to ensure that these 2 suspects are brought to justice. So that is with the assault on the head of the security at the Flagstaff House, who was assaulted at the beginning of this year. Abena.
And aside this revelation from the Interior Minister, what else is happening in Parliament?
Well, I can tell you that Parliament is still considering the budget estimates for the various sectors. I'm talking about metropolitan, municipal, and then ministries. So, for instance, as we speak, the budget estimate for the Foreign Affairs Ministry is being considered. Minister for that particular portfolio, Shirley Ayokoboche, is on the floor of Parliament. So, for instance, in total, an amount of 398,676,632 Ghana cedis is expected to be approved for the ministry for it to use in running its activities. However, there's a concern coming from the committee, and that's the Foreign Affairs Committee, that the estimate found in the budget in the internally generated funds from Ghana's missions abroad will run in excess of 150 million Ghana cedis. However, a government projects that only 51 million out of this amount will be given to the ministry to use in running its activities. This is contrary to the convention or what has been happening in the past, where 100% of the internally generated funds are given to the ministry to use in running its activities. So, for instance, a ranking member of the committee, I'm talking about Committee on Foreign Affairs, Honorable Kuditu Abdullah, is of the opinion that this will adversely affect the running of Ghana's missions outside, and they will have to fall on government again to ask for funds in carrying out the activities. So that caution has been sent to government to ensure that at least the amount given to the ministry as far as the internally generated funds is concerned is moved up a bit. So for the rest of the day, I can tell you that in Parliament, that's what will be happening. The budget estimate for the various sectors will be considered and approval will be given afterwards.
Thank you very much. Ibrahim Al-Hassan is our correspondent in Parliament. We are taking you back to the Accra Metropolitan Assembly. We understand that President Akufo-Addo's nominee, Mohamed Ejei-Sowa, has been confirmed as mayor. Ernest Latte joins us back on the line. Hello, Ernest.
Will uphold the sovereignty and integrity of Ghana. And that I will preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana. So help me Allah.
Ejei-Sowa has been sworn in as the mayor of Accra, and you saw the past mayor, Alfred Oko van der Poy, in that shot. Ernest can talk to us now. Ernest, some of them, what are the expectations of the new mayor?
Well, Honorable Oko van der Poy, the former AMA chief mayor of the Accra, was here earlier on, and I had an interaction with him, and he told me that he has worked with Honorable Mohamed Ejei when he was the AMA chief executive officer, and he has a lot of confidence in him that he will deliver on the president's vision of a new Accra. And so he actually called on all the honorable members who gathered here earlier on to cast their vote to support the honorable member just as they supported him when he was the chief executive officer of the AMA.
Thank you very much. Ernest Latte joined us from the Accra Metropolitan Assembly, where Mohamed Ejei-Sowa is now the mayor of Accra following the votes. We understand 126 people were expected to vote, but only 109 turned up, and all of them voted for him. This is the newsroom on GHOne TV. Now, students of the St. Charles Mini Seminary Senior High School at Tamale in the northern region have been asked to go home following a fire incident last Tuesday night that caused massive damage to a 23-complex dormitory structure housing the over 500 students.
The decision was taken on Wednesday by school authorities in consultation with the Regional Education Directorate after the facility was hugely devastated by the Tuesday night fire which engulfed it when students were on preps. The headmaster who announced the directive said students were to use the period to prepare themselves for exams. By the directive, only Form 1 and Form 2 students were asked to go home for the 1-week period, and Form 3 students affected in the incident were only given a day to return back to campus to begin their final exam. According to the headmaster, the school will provide the affected students with some basic needs before they leave to their various houses. The regional director, Mohammed Harun, who was there to sympathize with the students, said the directorates will provide 100 mini mattresses to the affected students. Investigation has been launched by the fire service to unravel the cause of the fire.
Okay, so we can now speak to the headmaster of the St. Charles Mini Seminary School. He is Mr. Polycarp Kusukub. Hello, good to have you, sir. Unfortunately, we've lost the headmaster of the St. Charles Mini Seminary School. We are taking you back to the Accra Metropolitan Assembly. The new mayor is addressing the media.
I promise that I shall work with you to transform Accra so that we should be able to have a sustainable smart city called Accra. In the few days to come, I will outline my vision to the people of Accra in accordance with the vision of the President of the Republic of Ghana, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. I am going to work with you, and I expect you also to work with me. I would like also to personally thank my predecessors, Honorable Stanley Ni Adil Branson and Honorable Dr. Oko Vandapo for their presence, show of love and support to me. They've been in my seat before. I shall consult. I shall work with them so that we achieve the President's vision of transforming this country and Accra, to be specific. Thank you. May Allah bless us all.
Honorable members, the meeting is not over, please. Let me quickly introduce the great Accra National State member, the students are doing the voting. His Excellency Dr. NEWSROOM. At this juncture, honorable members, I request for a motion to adjourn today's proceedings.
In absence of any further expansion, I move for the adjournment of the meeting.
Honorable members, is there any amendment or other motion?
All right, and so that's the new mayor of Accra, Mohammed Ejei-So, expressing his readiness to work with the former chief executives of Accra to better make the city what, according to the president's vision, and what the plans he has for the Greater Accra region, the Accra city. Okay. In the Ashanti region, commercial drivers in Kumasi who operate within the Kumasi Central Business District are calling for immediate decongestion exercise to free the CBD from the avoidable human and vehicular traffic.
The drivers complain trading activities on the pavements and its overflow on roads within the Central Business District is affecting their work. The drivers added the situation also aggravated the already worsening traffic situation on the stretch. They want the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly's city guards to be proactive with their work in ensuring the city is free from traffic to promote business activities in the Kumasi metropolis.
Ebetima save omu kakra but omu tumi cross space ni sana e din se pedestrian ebetima save no hwe obetumi e park ne niam besi half of the road na e din se pedestrian po ebenya kwan omu nwene enipa na etwam no se omu business na omu ye den omu ye no ho and pedestrian ni e save no ho akoka ne niam ato agu no na omu bo omu dia didi omu atem no omu ko ebi kura tumi ko so obi atadem se aden na wutwam a wakame nneɛma ato agu.
Meanwhile, traders admit selling on the pavement is wrong, but want the city authorities to give them an appropriate place to sell their goods.
Yeah, first better kwa watu ande. Na yeni baby papa better to ande. Kumasi market o wa ma. Baby market ayema nti o mo pe baby papa ma yen. Na yen kwot na mo pe baby papa de ebeko. Na mo pe baby papa pa se yen tuwa na yen kwo buana de yen de enya de better afi.
We are staying in the Ashanti region. Encroachment by farmers and other human development activities have led to a significant reduction of the volume of water at the Barekese Dam. The dam serves about 70% of the population of the Ashanti region.
As part of activities to mark this year World Water Day in the Ashanti region, officials of the Ghana Water Company embarked on an exercise to reclaim land taken over by estate developers near the Barekese Dam. Officials say the activities of the estate developers, coupled with other human activities, has led to a significant reduction in the volume of water at the dam. Ashanti Regional Production Manager of the Ghana Water Company Limited, Francis Kwesi, commended stakeholders in the Ashanti region for their contributions towards the reclaiming of lands near the Barekese area dam site and its environs. As a measure to curb the encroachment, officials indicated that they will plant trees around the dam's water bodies to protect the dam.
The trees, apart from that one, we also prevented people from encroaching. And that's what we are doing. And occasionally we use the drone. The drone is able to give a better view. And sometimes you'll be able to locate where somebody has secretly hidden and he's farming. So we are using both, we are planting, right? We also prevent people from entering, and we're also using technology to monitor. That's what we think we can do.
Francis Awuchi wants government to come out with proactive measures to protect the Barekese Dam from any other form of encroachment. Officials also decry the high cost of chemicals needed daily to treat water, noting if the activities of Galamsey operators are not effectively dealt with, the cost of water could go up in the coming days.
Now, angry residents of Bunsu Junction in the eastern region are threatened to block the main Accra-Kumasi highway following several appeals to the Ghana Highway Authority to construct speed ramps on the stretch. According to residents, the speed ramps have become necessary because several vehicles continue to overspeed on the highway, ignoring road signs of a community ahead.
Bunsu is a community situated on the main Accra-Kumasi highway. Due to the busy nature of this road, residents find it difficult to cross the highway. According to them, several people, mostly breadwinners, have lost their lives trying to cross the road. They claim several appeals to authorities to assist them with an overpass and speed ramps have all fallen on deaf ears. Now, residents, mostly the youth, say they are fed up with the situation and have demonstrated in the community, wearing red armbands and holding placards to register their concerns.
3 weeks in here, the past 6 Nenya Banjuma, Obiani Oya Banjuma, Nipa who I don't know. Yasra Banjuma, I'm a big lamp, I'm a busu and about, and Nipa who don't know. Yeah, 3 days, 3 days or so, and that's all I'm a speed lamp. Yeah, yes, I'm a Nipa.
Meanwhile, residents have given authorities a 1-week ultimatum to heed to their concerns, or they would be forced to block the main Accra-Kumasi highway.
Now, various government agencies in the Upper West region owe the Ghana Water Company Limited over 600 cedis, and this is affecting the work of the company in the area. This debt accrued over a period of more than 4 years after these organizations failed to pay for the water they used.
The agencies include WA Municipal Assembly, police, prisons, second cycle institutions and basic schools.
It's a fatal equation because we need the money to run, to pay electricity, to pay for fuel and other operational costs. As you know, water is a major investment that we need to run the business, and if the money is not coming, of course it's going to affect operations.
The Regional Distribution Officer, Engineer Emmanuel Kwabena Ejekum, disclosed that the Jambusi Water Project is complete, adding that electricity will be extended to the facility by Saturday.
Because all our water bodies are seriously polluted, and by then it will be dried up. So it's a concern to all of us that we need to protect our water bodies.
At the Community Water and Sanitation Agency, the Regional Senior Extension Officer, Emmanuel Atokwansa, told GHOne News that the region currently has a rural water coverage of 76%, and that siltation is a major challenge for the sources of water in the region.
At the upstream, from the Laura belt, from the upstream, a number of galamsey activities stretching down through the Wild West belt is happening. And whilst these activities are happening, it is leading to the siltation of the black water, and that is one of the sources for which we tap fresh water to be supplying the municipality and its catchment. Now, when we pollute this water, at the end of the day, the course of the river is silted, and water may have its own course passing through other channels. And it means that the catchment area where water can be tapped to supply water for the municipality and its immediate catchment will be reduced.
At the Ghana Water Company Limited, the Regional Chief Manager, Francis Eje Boateng, told the news team that the region currently has an urban coverage of 21%, which covers only the regional capital. Currently, the biggest project for water supply is at the Jambusi Water Project, which is expected to be completed this year to supply water to residents of Wa and its surroundings.
And you've been watching the newsroom here on GHOne TV. It's midday. Let's recap our top stories. Volume of water in Barakese Dam reduced by the minute due to some threatening human activities. Public Interest and Accountability Committee lauds government's free SHS initiative but cautions against funding it with the oil revenue. Later in business, new cocoa board CEO says mass cocoa spraying exercise would commence soon, while free fertilizer program would be scrapped. And in sports, Black Stars Vice Chairman Palmer says GFA is likely to headhunt next Ghana coach. We'll bring you some international news, where 8 people have been arrested in a terror attack in Westminster that left 4 dead. The newsroom will return shortly. Do stay tuned.
A moment of silence.
I know you're out there. I can feel you now. I know that you're afraid. You're afraid of us.
You can see that I sit quietly listening to Fatimatu Abubakar. And what she's describing to me is what I want every single young girl, regardless of her religious background, to know and to see.
In 2010, I contested for National Union of Ghana Students Coordinating Secretary. So although I lost that election by 7 votes, yes, I lost.
7 votes?
Yes. If you don't quit politics at that point, you will not quit again.
You're welcome back. Now let's update you on the story about the military brutality involving the freelance journalist Kendrick Ofeyansa. He's meeting the Ghana Armed Forces today, but the Deputy Minister Designate for Defense has rationalized his assault.
Freelance journalist Kendrick Ofeyansa was on State of Affairs Tuesday night with Deputy Minister Designate for Defense, Major Retired Derek Odro. Kendrick claimed he was beaten up to pulp by soldiers on Independence Day after he was found filming a group of soldiers physically assaulting another civilian. The following ensued between the two guests towards the end of the show.
I am appealing to the President, if Honorable Odro's nomination be withdrawn. I'm appealing to all journalists out there.
You are too small. Let me tell you, you are too small.
I'm appealing to all journalists out there.
This is the mouth that you went and did, and some people went and beat you up.
Yeah.
I am telling you.
He's still supporting them.
What do you mean by supporting?
I never argued with any soldier.
What do you mean by supporting? I say I felt for you when you said
any soldier.
You've been beaten up. Did you see me there?
They're the President. You are telling
I am telling you that you are too small.
Too small. They're the President.
You're too small. What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
Earlier, the Deputy Minister Designate, who served in the armed forces for 27 years, discounted claims of an existing military post behind the Black Star Square.
Now, it could even be that these boys or these soldiers that he met, who brutalized him, are not even soldiers.
So you're saying he could, but he said that he was taken to a military barrack. Does that barracks exist at all?
I have been in Ghana Armed Forces for 27 good years. I've not heard of Owusu barracks before.
Colonel Agriquashi, the PRO of the Ghana Armed Forces, told State of Affairs about the possibility of a military post around the said area.
But can you confirm or deny if there is any facility of that sort around the Independence Square occupied by soldiers?
When I was told that there was a barracks at the place, I was a bit surprised, but I thought all our personnel had been relocated to the flag tower. So, as for performing duties at those places, it's possible because it's become a national asset that needs to be protected.
We followed up to the Owusu police station where the case was reported to the same day.
She was brought to this matter on the 7th of March. The complainant later returned from the police hospital with his medical form endorsed. With his medical form endorsed. And he was paraded before me. And indeed, I asked that the investigator should let him lead him to where the assault took place, so that we could see if he could identify those who allegedly assaulted him.
ASP Richard Dapla explained to GHOne News why the case had not been reported officially to the military police.
The investigator went with him to the scene of crime. That is on the 7th of March. The very day my attention was brought to this matter, he went to him to the scene of crime on that same day.
And what happened there?
According to the investigator, he could not identify those on guard duty there. None of them was identified. So the head of the guard unit at the Flagstaff House, at the castle, was called in here. And according to him, he came before me here and told me that yes, he was with his guard men and he witnessed an incident between the complainant and some soldier men. He was at his duty point when he saw the policeman, the military man with some military men with the victim, and they were engaged in a scuffle. So he decided as a WO to go there, and when he went there, he stopped them from whatever that was going on.
So the WO men also cannot identify the people that assaulted the guy.
He cannot. He says these are Independence Day was a day various soldier men came from different units. You understand that? Different units. They must be identified. If they are identified to us by law, then we will now know their names and then possibly their units before we can write.
So until then...
we cannot just write to the Ghana military command to release who? soldier men allegedly assaulted a freelance journalist, and because of that, we just write to the military high command that soldier men, which soldier men, or which barracks, or which unit.
All right, so we can now speak to the journalist in question, Kendrick Ofei-Ansah. As I mentioned, he is expected to meet the Ghana Armed Forces today. Kendrick, good to have you. Has a meeting taken place yet?
Yes, Abena.
And can you share with us what transpired? Were your expectations met?
I went to see Colonel Eric Agri quite this morning, and he directed me to the military police, and I was asked to put down my statement, and I did.
Okay.
And I've been asked to come on Monday for me to accompany them to the spot.
Okay. And so far, since this unfortunate incident emerged, you meeting Colonel Agri-Kwashe today, are you satisfied with the level of response, the reception you got at that meeting?
Yes, Abena, he spoke to me at length, and I really appreciated the way and manner he spoke to me. I think it's in the right direction.
All right. Thank you very much, Kendrick Ofei-Ansah. He met the Ghana Armed Forces today, and he's expected to return on Monday for further development, further investigations into his alleged assaults. Let's now bring you some business stories. The new CEO of COCOBOD, Joseph Boahin-Aidu, has told the Business Brief in an exclusive interview government would abolish the free fertilizer distribution program since the process adopted by the Eswell government failed to reach all cocoa farmers. He has, however, assured COCOBOD would soon commence the cocoa mass spraying exercise while adopting new technologies in the deployment of fertilizer subsidies for farmers.
Government in April 2016 commenced the distribution of free fertilizer for cocoa farmers throughout the country, with over 2.5 million bags of fertilizer earmarked to be distributed in the process. The distribution exercise, however, was marred with acrimony and theft, with most farmers complaining the free fertilizer ended up in shops for sale. The new CEO of COCOBOD, Joseph Boahin-Aidu, tells the Business Brief government has suspended the process as it adopts new technology in introducing subsidies to the farmers.
The subsidy will go directly to cocoa farmers. We are going to introduce some electronic, mechanisms through which farmers can access the subsidy. Every farmer is going to be given a code. And then using the code, you can then access the subsidy when you go and buy. So that if you don't have the code, you buy it at the market price.
Mr. Boahin-Aidu, however, expressed government's commitment to reviving the mass cocoa spraying exercise, saying it is the only way to ensure a boost in cocoa production.
Every farm ought to be sprayed if the spraying is to be effective. Now, when it is gang, and it's a controlled process, then you have every farm being sprayed. But if you go and then, distribute the chemicals through unorthodox channels, whereby it's giving a tot to people, sometimes one bottle to 4 farmers to go and share. It's not effective. Some will spray, some will not spray. Those who didn't have the chemicals, it means they will not spray at all. And it creates problems.
Now, the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, has challenged key players in the banking sector of the country and mobile telecommunication operators to find mutually beneficial ways to integrate their various operations in the mobile money payment system. According to Dr. Bawumia, the mobile concept is the surest way to ensure that the over 60% of unbanked Ghanaians get roped into the banking system through the use of digital technology.
Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Baumia was addressing participants at the Ghana Economic Outlook and Business Strategy Conference. The program was under the theme Unlocking Ghana's Economic Potential with Mobile Money and Payment Systems. The Vice President strongly called on telcos and the banking industry players to focus on making merging forces in the mobile money payment system.
We have been blessed with a major architecture which have been developed separately. The e-switch architecture is very, very important. The telcos have an architecture which is very, very important. The banks have an architecture which is very important. What we are lacking is interoperability. I therefore want to challenge the stakeholders that this is not rocket science, making sure that there is interoperability between the Ghana Link, which the banks are on, the e-switch platform, and the mobile telephone platforms. It's not rocket science. If you put your minds to it, this can be done in 6 months.
Speaking on the economy, the Vice President identified financial inclusion, national identification system, and a property addressing system as the 3 pillars needed to formalize the Ghanaian economy.
Financial inclusion is one of the pillars for formalization. Then you have 2 other pillars. The national identification. That is the second pillar. And the third pillar is a property addressing system. I think if you have these 3 pillars, then you have the necessary backbone for a formal economy. And these are the 3 pillars that we really want attacked this year.
He added that the government will ensure that all 3 are implemented this year to kickstart the agenda to completely formalize the whole Ghanaian economy.
Thank you. His Excellency.
Now, the Ghana Statistical Service has announced producer price inflation inched up from 3.1% in January to 5.4% in February. Officials of the Statistical Service blamed the rise on the recent increase in petroleum prices.
According to the latest figures released by the Ghana Statistical Service on the producer price inflation, mining and quarrying recorded an inflation at 19.7% in February compared to 18.6% in January. Manufacturing was 3.5% in February compared to 2.4% in January, while utilities were at 1.3% last month as against negative 6.8% in January. The PPI measures the change in factory gate prices and it is measured year on year or monthly changes.
Now, NEWSROOM Ghana has committed 100,000 cedis as cost for the fumigation of health facilities and schools across the country. Over 101 CHIPS compounds and some selected senior high schools are expected to benefit from the gesture.
Chief Commercial Officer of NEWSROOM, David Afugani, indicated that officials decided to embark on the exercise following numerous concerns raised about insect and pest infestation at several health facilities.
We are looking at these areas because these are public areas that always have the convergence of many people from different backgrounds. For this particular project, we are looking at over 100,000 Ghana cedi in terms of cost of direct products, in terms of labor and other logistics and management costs.
Officials indicated the gesture will become an annual ritual to assist more health facilities and educational institutions across the country.
For us, social responsibility should not be an afterthought. It should be an integral part of the business decision-making process. Because without society, there's no business. Business and society go hand in hand. So for us, business is not business if it doesn't impact on people.
All right, finally, in business, international oil and gas companies are being asked to strategically locate their operations in Ghana. and that has been by the U.S. company General Electric. Speaking at the inauguration of the GE oil and gas facility in Takoradi, the Deputy Minister Designate for Energy, Joseph Kojo, assured all prospective international oil and gas companies that government is bent on developing a productive oil and gas industry and implored all to take advantage.
The Deputy Energy Minister Designate, Joseph Kojo, said government is keen on using the opportunity provided by the sector to develop skills locally within the context of the local content law.
The Ministry of Energy, acting on behalf of Ghana, has developed the local content and local participation regulations, and we believe that the content will be complied with, and the compliance, I believe, shouldn't be seen as the participants in the industry as any constraint, but must rather be seen as a competitive tool, a tool to compete.
The U.S. Ambassador to Ghana, Robert Jackson, on his part, outlined the impact of General Electric in various sectors as part of its mission to build, move and cure the world. The U.S. Ambassador to Ghana said in line with this, General Electric has brought multi-sector investment in healthcare, power sector, and described the new service facility by GE as a world-class one, which will support Ghana's oil and gas development in diverse ways.
GE has invested in healthcare, most recently by playing an instrumental role in the revitalization of Ridge Hospital in Accra, and in coordinating with the Ministry of Health to provide training and 500 portable ultrasound machines for midwives. In the power sector, GE has made significant investments that have helped Ghana recover from its load-shedding crisis. One example is the construction of a 200 megawatt power plant built with GE turbines just 20 kilometers east of here. That plant alone will provide reliable power to 1 million homes for more than 25 years.
The General Electric service facility is located in the Takoradi port and will be the primary service center for Deep Ether offshore project in Ghana, with the capability of testing 3 subsea trees simultaneously.
You're watching the newsroom on GHOne TV. Let's pick updates from the world of sports, and Dennis Mapuri is in the studio. Hello, Dennis.
Hi, Abena. Good to see you again. I've got stories, very interesting ones, related to the Football Association's hunt for a new Black Stars coach to the MTN FA Cup, and also talking about officiating all over the world facing some challenges with abuse of referees. We'll talk about all that, but beginning with the Vice Chairman of the Black Stars Management Committee, Wilfred Osekwuku-Palmer, because he's revealed to GH1 Sports that there's a high level of possibility that the FA will embark on a headhunt for the next Ghana coach, despite receiving applications and CVs from over 71 coaches. According to GH1 Sports checks, the FA has already shortlisted 3 coaches for consideration, but Wilfred Osekwuku-Palmer says there is a likelihood of a headhunt before the new coach is appointed in April this year.
It's very high, depending on those who are available. As we have indicated somewhere along the line, that we're looking for a coach with proven track record, and to us that is very material and significant. It all depends on what Ghanaians are looking out for, and from a good snapshot, all Ghanaians are looking forward to the annexation of the AFCON 2019, and that's what our appointment should indicate. We need somebody of that caliber.
Wilfred Osekwuku-Palmer is an executive committee member of the Ghana Football Association and the vice chairman of the Black Stars Management Committee. Now, the chairman of the Ghana Football Association's FA Cup Committee, Ket Okreku, has told GH1 Sports that it is normal for poor pitches or bad pitches to be approved for preliminary matches in the ongoing MTN FA Cup. The FA Cup actually begins this weekend. Will feature 48 matches played across the 10 regions involving lower division sides, according to the FA Executive Committee member, Ket Okreku. Allowing the lower division clubs to play on bad pitches is an opportunity for football fans in the country to see the turfs on which Ghanaian soccer stars were produced.
The idea of the FA Cup originates from England, and in England you see big clubs playing on very, very challenging pitches. Okay, it is normal of the FA Cup competition, where we have a fixture that sees 2 Division 2 clubs who allow them to play on their local pitches. Okay, because we need the local people also to follow the sport. But beyond that, when the competition goes into the round of 64, it will only be played on approved FA official pitches. One other idea of the FA Cup is also to offer the opportunity for Ghanaians to see the kind of pitches we produce our superstars. Our CK Akonos, Michael Essien, Abena Ayew players played on poor pitches. It's also important for we to let the people know the kind of pitches that we produce the stars, for people to also give those pitches some attention. So it's a two-pronged strategy that we have been deploying, and it's our hope that we should be able to achieve both targets.
So that was the chairman of the FA Cup committee here in Ghana, Keto Kreku. He says it's a two-pronged strategy to play on bad pitches. That's also very normal when you have preliminary matches that will kick off this weekend. So Keto Kreku is an executive committee member of the Ghana Football Association as well. And Pierluigi Collina, the legendary Pierluigi Collina, who's now the chairman of the FIFA Referees Committee, has warned of a global shortage of match officials if efforts are not made to tackle abuse and violence towards referees at the grassroots level.
The legendary referee Collina, who was in charge of the 2002 World Cup final between Brazil and Germany, told Sky Sports it is a real threat when match officials face verbal and physical abuse in amateur football. According to the 57-year-old Italian, many national associations have launched a campaign with UEFA and FIFA promoting respect in football, but this attempt hasn't mitigated the attacks on match officials. A huge number of referees work every weekend in grassroots and amateur football globally. Collina feels if FIFA doesn't tackle the abuse of match officials, there could be a shortage of referees worldwide.
So that's all we've got for you in the world of sports today, Sports Brief. This evening we'll bring you more interesting stories on News Tonight. Abena, I'm sure you've been, really disappointed in some of the comments made this afternoon.
I just don't understand. The fact that Abedi Pele, Tony Yeboah played on bad pitches, it doesn't make it normal.
Well, I reserve my comments on that particular story, but we'll definitely be discussing it in the coming days. That's all for Sports Brief.
All right, we can now bring you some international news.
Eight arrests have been made in raids in London, Birmingham, and elsewhere following an attack in Westminster that left 4 dead, police have said. Hundreds of detectives worked through the night, carrying out searches at 6 addresses, Acting Deputy Commissioner Mark Rowley said. 7 of the injured are still in hospital in a critical condition. A further 29 had been treated in the hospital. In the attack on Wednesday, a man drove a car along the pavement of Westminster Bridge, knocking down pedestrians, creating panic, and leaving dozens injured. The Sierra Leonean pastor, whose workers found one of the world's largest rough diamonds, has pledged to build a new school and bridge in the village where it was found. Pastor Emmanuel Momo brought the 709 carats precious stone found in the Eastern Kono district to the capital, Freetown, last week. President Ernest Bai Koroma said Sierra Leoneans should benefit from the discovery and said it will be auctioned next month.
And that's all we have for you by way of news on GHOne Newsroom today. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Abena, Owusu, Nyamekye.